Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 108 of Miami Dolphins content. I got the boy Amicus, the great Amicus, in the building. Special guest. We're going to be talking tonight's episode, the O-line, Dolphins bolster the O-line, and Stephon Diggs gets traded to Houston, as you guys can see in the thumbnail. He's on Thomas the Train, choo-choo, on his way out the building. Let's get it. For those of y'all watching on Twitch, X, and all that, come on over to YouTube, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, waddle on that notification bell. We're here every Monday at 8:30. We do impromptu shows throughout the week, and this is one of them. Hope y'all having a good week. Amicus, what is going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. We're going to get into it, but I'm excited. I'm happy, and the future looks fucking bright.
We'll find. We'll talk about it, and we'll figure that out. But a couple things I wanted to bring up before we dive into that is shout out to Mike Colin and his family, aka Captain Crunch, member of the 72 Dolphins, passed away today at the age of 76. I don't know what the hell's going on. I guess this is just not the Dolphins' former players' week. But, you know, much love to him. Thoughts and prayers for his family and his friends. Never like to hear that, especially at 76. You would still love for him to see his kids and spend time with his family. It's sad to hear. So, T's and P's go out there for him and his family. But yeah, moving on with that, the Dolphins re-signed Kendall Laam today, bolstering our offensive line. That gives us our backup from last year for Teron Armstead. It does solve a conundrum that the Dolphins have been thinking about as far as, do you draft another tackle or a guard / tackle? You know, how are we going to address the situation if Armstead does get injured? It does not solve the long-term solution, however, as Kendall Laam himself put out on social media that this will be his last ride. I did try to get cute with the thumbnail and put him on a roller coaster, but it wasn't working out. So Kendall Laam has admitted this is going to be his last ride. So I'm assuming that this will be his final year. He is 31 years old. He will turn 32 this year. So it seems to me, at least, he's willing to give the Dolphins one more year. He loves the opportunity, the fact that, again, he wants to get that Super Bowl ring. And obviously, with the trade of Stephon Diggs, you know, the Bills aren't going to win the AFC East. So he said, I'll hop on that train and I'll get right back on the roller coaster and take one more ride as Stephon Diggs is choo-chooing his way out on Thomas the Train. Amicus, what do you think about the re-signing of Kendall Laam?
I mean, what do you think about it?
Well, we've talked about it, and you've been on the show all the time. You're a regular, but a Bills fan. He's been very good for us, especially when Armstead went out. He played a lot of games this past year. He played extremely well given the circumstances, especially when it comes to the fact that you're stepping in for an all-pro and the expectations are high given all of the pressure on the Dolphins, knowing we lost Isaiah Wynn prior to Teron Armstead getting hurt. We lost Connor Williams. Robert Hunt got injured. Playing the musical chairs in the offensive line room. The only one solid guy backup-wise that we knew we could count on was Kendall Laam. Obviously, there's going to be a drop-off from a Pro Bowl level in Teron Armstead, but he played extremely well for us. and it does give us the depth that we need in case Armstead does get injured again.
Right.
Or in the event that Austin Jackson gets injured, because he did move to left tackle or right tackle when Armstead was playing and Jackson was injured. So it gives us a lot more flexibility, and it does give Dolphins fans more comfort in the depth area of the offensive line. And it also kind of makes a little bit of difference when it comes to drafting, as where it's now not a huge priority because you do have depth there, solid depth. You know who he is, you know how he plays. I like the signing. And yeah, like I said, I think that again, you know what you got, and we won't know the terms of the contract. We won't know the money side for a few more days, but at the very least, it gives Dolphins fans more comfort at the depth of O-line.
Yeah, because you believe Armstead's going to get injured again, right?
Well, I mean, you know me and my background. I look, I love Teron Armstead, but the guy hasn't played a healthy season in 4 years. And you know it's bound to happen, especially at his age. We saw it last year, the nagging injuries. He even came into the season with the nagging injury. He fought through it. He got re-injured. There's a lot of different things going on in that aspect. I'm not saying that I'm counting on him getting injured. I think that it's a likely possibility. I'm never going to wish that on anybody or say that I expect it. You would hope that the Dolphins training staff and medical staff would do everything they can to prevent that from happening. But you've also heard me go off on my tangents on the Dolphins medical staff, even though they were rated number 1 or number 2 in the NFL on the players survey. But again, does a player understand whether the medical side is doing the best for you or not? No, because they're players. They don't have medical training. If you ask a board of medical professionals, hey, what team do you think has the best training staff? That would be a different ranking altogether. I can guarantee you that. And on top of that, it's not about outcomes of injury and return. For a player's standpoint, it's, were they nice to me? Did they tell me when they were gonna, have me back, and did they get me back in that time? Did I get back in that time frame? That's as far as their understanding goes, if that makes sense, Amicus.
Yeah, I mean, I think you watch a lot more Dolphins tape than I do, obviously, but clearly there's it's a good sign in just because of the history, right? And if he played good when Armstead was out before, then you're comfortable with that depth, and yeah, it's a good sign. But my question to you, CT, is how important is an offensive line for a guy that gets rid of the football quicker than anybody else? Like, isn't your whole offense predicated upon the ball not being into his hands longer than 1.7 seconds? Well,
again, you got to take your shots early and often, right, Amicus? Get it. But in reality, it's not an issue with Tua, and it's not a schematic. Oh, we got to get the ball out because we don't want Tua to hold the ball, or he can't get to a second or third read like you and other people like to say. The issue is when you have musical chairs at the offensive line, you continue to have players who, through Liam Eichenberg, who again, he's a decent backup, but he's not starter caliber. You talk about losing Robert Hunt, your starting right guard, for we lost him for 4 weeks. He came back, he got injured again, and he missed another 4 weeks. And then you have Connor Williams, who obviously got injured and was out the rest of the year. We had our starting left guard, Isaiah Wynn, and I believe week 3 or 4 got injured. We lost him for the entire year. Armstead was in and out. You literally had one guy in Austin Jackson. Well, Austin Jackson missed the game too, but in reality, he played, most of the games. But the only one that stayed fucking healthy relatively was Austin Jackson. And even prior to that, and we've talked about it extensively, Chris Grier has tried to do this hodgepodge of bottom of the barrel bargain bin shopping on offensive line. And the reason that we saw that not work last year with Tua, and we've talked about this, the concussions are part of the offensive line, the hits taken. If your offensive line can't pass block, are you going to say, well, I'm going to put Tua back there, and if our O-line can't pass block, I'm just going to let him keep getting destroyed? We've obviously seen when Tua has a clean pocket and he has a good offensive line, or at least a healthy offensive line at an average talent level, he picks teams apart. He has one of the highest quarterback ratings and statistics when he has a clean pocket. Now, we've also seen when the pocket breaks down, he has pocket presence and pocket awareness. However, again, is he a Lamar Jackson? Is he a Josh Allen? Is he a Jalen Hurts? No, he's not. And we knew that coming into it. However, he has the ability to maneuver in the pocket. But again, like most pocket quarterbacks, he needs the ability to step up in the pocket to make those throws. And when literally your starting right guard, starting center, and starting left guard are injured and nearly out the entire season, 8 games or more for each of, well, Connor Williams and Isaiah Wynn were out the entire year, and Robert Hunt, at a minimum, and off the top of my head, missed 8 games. Where is he going to step up into?
Well, I see something a little
Eichenberg, who can't snap or block.
I see something a little different. When the ball is into his hands for longer than 2 seconds. You ever seen a squirrel eat a nut in a tree when there's like 5 hawks circling around that tree? That's Tua after 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an absolute sack of shit, but that's all right because you're a Bills fan, and that's the way you're going to see it. You have a biased, jaded view of it, and in that aspect, we've watched Tua sit back in the pocket in both the final year of Flores and the first year of McDaniel, when he had a relatively healthy offensive line, or for that matter, an offensive line coach that knew his ass from his elbow. He was able to sit back in the pocket. He was allowed to slide right, slide left, step up, and make throws. The issue is again, when you have a bunch of hodgepodge backups and your starters were bargain bin guys other than Teron Armstead, Robert Hunt. Now, again, everybody wants to argue, Austin Jackson was great. Well, Austin Jackson had one good year. He sucked all of his previous years. He had one good year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got to pay Austin Jackson. He's the future, this, that, and the other. Well, if that's the narrative or the argument you're making, Tua had, quote unquote, one good year, according to skeptics, but you're still not willing to pay him or to say that he's the future of the franchise. So how can you say that about your starting tackle, who was a bust the first 4 years, but the opinion or the narrative is different on a quarterback who, again, he had a good year last year. Was it great? No. Was it elite? No. This year, was it great? Yes. Was it elite? No. Top 10 in most statistical categories. Again, you only have 4 or 5 elite quarterbacks in the NFL, period. Then to say, okay, is Tua ever going to become elite? That's a question to be had.
Can you list your 4 elite quarterbacks, please, for the viewing audience?
Yeah, absolutely, and we've done this ad nauseum on this show. But you've got guys with supreme athletes. So say a Lamar Jackson, say a Aaron Rodgers. Now, again, I think Aaron Rodgers is much on his decline. He still does have, the experience as well as, the attitude, the leadership, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But he does still have something left in the arm. Is it what it was 2 or 3 years ago? No, absolutely not. But he's still up there.
Yeah.
Again, you've got Josh Allen. Again, he's got his mobility because of his size. He does have arm strength. I do think that he has issues with processing and reading and whatnot. But again, I digress. We've been over this and had this argument so many times, not worth rehashing. But and then you get into guys a la Patrick Mahomes. And so, like I said, I think there's 5 in my opinion. And really, the 5th one, people will debate and argue, but I think the athleticism and the speed is something that kills people, even if he doesn't necessarily have the passing physical traits. He has the running physical traits, is Jalen Hurts. And I think that those would round out my top 5. I love Jared Goff. I like but again, these guys are great quarterbacks, but they're not elite. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between a great quarterback and elite quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, tier 1 is just 2 guys, Mahomes and Allen. That's my opinion. And then I think tier 2 has quite a few guys, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. I would put CJ Stroud in that category now as a tier 2. But
that in itself, though, and that's, again, this is another fucking, how can you put CJ Stroud out there when he's had one good year as a rookie? Yeah, you could say he's got traits and whatever, but show me consistency before I call you elite. So
he was consistent for the whole fucking year, and he broke all rookie records for a quarterback, and he threw to a bunch of nobodies. So I mean, listen, bro, I was not a fan of CJ Stroud or any of that draft class at quarterback a year ago. But CJ Stroud proved me wrong. I watched his games, and he's cool, calm, and collective in the pocket. He's accurate. He really has all the intangibles. He's not a mobile guy at all. He's a pocket guy, but he reminds me of a Brady a little. Like, don't take that the wrong way, but I'm just saying, like, the way he goes about things is kind of Brady-esque.
And I can agree with that, and I absolutely agree. My thing is again, it's the same, and it's the narrative that I said, Austin Jackson Tua. It's the same narrative. So if Tua comes out here and has a great year, and he has one great year, am I over here crowning Tua as elite? No, he's a great quarterback. He had a great fucking year, and even in year 1, and year two, Tua was throwing to nobodies. He didn't have Tyreek. He didn't have any. He had no receivers whatsoever, and he still produced and played well. Now, again, I like CJ Stroud, but I want to see consistency the same way that I've said about Tua. I want to see Tua come out this year and play well, as play another great year. Then we can make that determination. I've been on the fucking.
I put him on a tier 2 though, and I wouldn't call that elite. To me, there's only 2 elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's Mahomes and Allen.
And I get your obviously one is biased, but
it's not biased at all. It's not biased at all.
Well, being a Bills fan, inherently it's biased. Whether or not I agree, because I agree that Josh Allen is elite.
It's not inherently biased. It appears biased because I'm a Bills fan, but it's not inherently biased because you can take a bunch of other people that hate the Bills and they would put Allen in the tier 1 category with Mahomes as well. So I'm just speaking facts. It just is what it is.
Said, even me as a Dolphins fan, I still put Josh Allen in that category, but I think limiting it to Mahomes and Allen, that's a disservice because, again, I don't agree with Lamar and his passing ability.
He's got 2 MVPs, CT. I get it, right? But honestly, do you really think that motherfucker deserves 2 MVPs? Bro, last year it should have gone to McCaffrey. Like, a quarterback shouldn't even won it. And I can make an argument that Allen's stats were not even an argument. Allen's stats was way better than Lamar Jackson. It was just the record and the team's success that got him the MVP. He shouldn't have won the fucking MVP. And his first MVP, his unanimous MVP, Allen's past 4 seasons, all of them statistically have been better than that one MVP year of Lamar Jackson. So those 2 MVPs don't mean shit to me when it comes to the category of an elite quarterback.
Well, our boy Ennis in the building, he said he did it all year. What happened in the Carolina game and the Jets game then?
Oh, who's he? Let me read that. Who's he referring to?
Josh Allen, I guess. He said he did it all year. What happened in the Carolina game and the Jets game then?
I mean, what?
You're referring to Ennis.
Yeah, he's referring to. Yeah, he's not referring to
building. What is going on, brother? Appreciate you coming out. But yeah, my thing is again, and I'm not disagreeing with you as far as that, but you have to remember the MVP consideration is the most valuable player to a team. Now, again, we can argue this. Lamar Jackson did not have a Stephon Diggs. Fuck, he had Antonio fucking Brown, and then he fucking or not Antonio Brown, Marquise Brown, and then he fucking got traded or signed somewhere else. Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood.
Yeah. So again, he's saying CJ Stroud. Okay. He said CJ Stroud, what happened in the Carolina and the Jets game, the New Orleans and Denver game. So, I mean, I'm not as familiar. I didn't follow CJ Stroud. Again, I told you guys, I watch Dolphins games, and then if there's a competitive game on, or maybe a Bills game or a Jets game or something, and I happen to be free, I'll go watch it. But I don't watch every fucking game, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he got smoked by the Ravens, right? They lost to the Ravens. It wasn't even competitive. But nevertheless, I mean, the kid broke rookie records with nobody. I mean, the Houston Texans, 2 years ago, man, this was a team that people were thinking like would take a decade to fucking find themselves again. Now, all of a sudden, they got Diggs. They got, Stroud's breaking records. I mean, congrats to them, but we'll get into the Diggs thing in a minute. But my point is about the quarterback. We got to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, we got to talk a little bit about Tua. I got some Tua news, but then we are absolutely getting into the Diggs thing. But we wanted to address the Tua situation because it will segue into the next segment, and then we'll transition into the Diggs segment. But we're still stuck on the Tua because I got to educate this fucking Bills fan. So we're getting it. But I agree. We kind of got a little off topic with CJ Stroud. Ennis, I'm going to go ahead and text you over the link. I know that Bleezy put it in the chat, but I'm not sure if you can't see it. If you want to come up, you're more than welcome, brother. But yeah, if you can't get it or you can't see it, let me know and I will text it over to you. But yeah, I agree that he said Tank, Deli, Nico, and Schultz are all nobodies. Whew. I mean, is it?
Well,
What do you
that's
think
what I
about
said.
that?
That's what I said. There's somebody now, but at the time, the last year, they were all nobodies. So I mean CJ Stroud did his thing, and the inconsistency part of that comment. Listen, man, who's consistently consistent all 17 games? I mean, you got to look at the totality of work, and the fact is, he's a fucking rookie. It was like the coin flip of who do you take number one, Stroud or the kid from Alabama, and clearly the Panthers fucked up, right? And made the wrong choice.
Anthony? No, not Anthony Richardson. The other
one. What's his name? The Panthers quarterback, right? The Alabama kid. See, we can't even remember his fucking name. That's how insignificant he is. I mean, Stroud was the correct pick. He's a better quarterback, and he was so consistent throughout the year that he broke all rookie records. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, they didn't know because I believe Andrew Luck still has the TD record, if I remember correctly.
Bro, he had the greatest quarterback rookie year of all time.
Oof. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far.
That's not even a debate. That's a fact. Yeah.
You're on mute, Ennis. Yeah. He may be waiting. I don't know. But yeah, man, I wanted to get into a little bit. You brought into and to get into that segue. Thought it was very unique and interesting. Everybody wanted to know who's Tua working with. We've heard a lot about Perform talking about Tua working with QB coaches and improving himself this offseason. And it's crazy that not only is he working with one, he's working with multiple to Florida, but it's been obviously reported that Tua's flying across the country over to Southern California to work with 3D QB. And for people who don't know who 3D QB are, they've worked previously with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff. And they have multiple individuals who train Adam Dudeau, Tom House, and interesting enough for Dolphins fans, former Miami Dolphins second-round quarterback John Beck. And so obviously Tua's getting a lot of coaching and a lot of eyes on him and getting some of that feedback from some of the top guys in the country as far as QB coaches go. We all know who Tom House is. Dudeau, and I'm sure I'm butchering his name. Everybody knows him as well. Dolphins fans know who John Beck is, but probably, not anybody else. But they're one of the premier QB coaching organizations in the country. And obviously, I listed off the names of the individuals who've worked with them previously. And So you got to give the guy credit. Tua's out there. He's trying to get his thing. We talked about, I felt like from the medical standpoint, there was no concern over reoccurring concussions. He had adequate time to recover. The medical the medical documentation, as well as research, shows that within that 30 to 45 day window, with consecutive concussions, you go 60 to 90 days. He was well beyond that. The Dolphins admitted that, yes, we could have played Tua, but we decided not to. They even waited until after the season to even allow him to enter the protocol. I wasn't concerned about the concussion issue this year. Obviously, bulked up. He did jiu-jitsu, which is great. But now, again, you proved you could stay healthy. You lose a little bit of weight. It's not an issue as long as you're maintaining your fundamentals, understanding the physics and the dynamics, not falling flat on your back and letting your head slam against the ground. These are things that, again, we've talked about ad nauseum. Nobody teaches quarterbacks. And so, again, he went out, he learned it, he did well. This year, he's focusing on improving himself as a quarterback in multiple other situations. And so I'm excited to see, with his great production this year. I mean, look, he was the top 10 quarterback this year. If he continues to progress, he's only going to continue to get better. That's my opinion. People can argue it all fucking day long, but we're not going to know until next year starts. But I like the commitment from Tua, especially the ones that called into question his drive and motivation. I think we can all end that bullshit. Let's move on to this year and see what happens. But Ennis, you say give you a minute. I'm not sure if you're ready to come on, brother, but let me know. Hop in and talk whenever you're ready. But yeah, let's get into it. I know this is why everybody's here. Amicus, everybody's fucking freaking out. Stephon Diggs is on the choo-choo train out. But before we dive into that, I got to ask you a quick question. How fucking scary are the Texans going to be?
Well, listen, I just gave a lot of praise to CJ Stroud, right? Rightfully deserving. But here's the thing, man. Huh?
I said, in that defense playing well?
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I'm glad Diggs is gone is one of the other reasons I'm scared for Stroud now that he has him. So we saw CJ Stroud break rookie records, have the greatest rookie season for a quarterback ever in the history of the NFL. And he made stars out of rookies himself, like Tank Dell, and he was throwing to nobodies, right? But he was dishing the ball around. There was a freedom of not having anybody demand anything, just playing in the system. And if guys are open, they're open, et cetera, et cetera. There's a freedom in that, especially for a young quarterback. Especially for quarterbacks that aren't like hardcore alpha motherfuckers. And we'll get into that too with Josh Allen, because I'm going to explain why this is a great thing for Josh Allen. But it segues nicely to CJ Stroud, meaning he didn't have the pressure of feeding anybody the rock. And that is part of the reason he was so successful. He could play within himself. It's like being in the backyard, right? Remember that, playing as a kid with your boys and everything? You just scan the field, man. And when you see your boy open, you throw him the fucking ball. But now he's got a diva on his team. He's got a guy that'll show you up if you're not doing the right thing. And he's also got a guy that's been in the league, a Pro Bowl wide receiver, played at the highest level. And now he's a second-year quarterback that's going to have to kind of he's going to have to do what he does, right? It's not like a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers or one of these quarterbacks that they have clout, and you don't come in there and demand nothing from these cats, right? Diggs is going to demand shit from him. Now, how is Stroud going to handle that? Because that's a different animal. That's a different animal when you got a guy like Diggs saying, give me the fucking ball, and now you have to, on every play, look for him first, and if he's double teamed, now you fucked up your second and third reads that would have been your first read just by playing freedom within the system. That's a real thing. And that's what happened to Allen. Now, it's a little less what bothers me about Allen is he was in his 6th year. It shouldn't be like that with Allen. But Allen's not an alpha. He's a fucking beta. And I told people this a long time ago, a year ago, that when you have a beta like Josh Allen, and nothing against betas, people are different, right? But Josh Allen's not the type of guy that can look at Diggs and say, shut the fuck up. You'll get the ball when I give you the fucking ball. So he wasn't able to play free. Now, you saw him play free last year after the first 8 games because Joe Brady came in as OC. And he changed everything, and they started running the ball more, and they didn't throw the Diggs. Diggs did not have a good second half of the season. He only had one 100-yard game. And guess what the Bills did? They ran off like 6 in a fucking row and won the AFC East. So you tell me what everybody's talking shit, talking about, oh, the Bills going to take a step back when Diggs is gone. Diggs was gone for the second half of the season, and we won the AFC East. Watch what Josh Allen does now. He will win the MVP, and I'll tell you why, because there's a story. MVPs have narratives attached to them. And the only thing you'll see is 2 things. You'll see Allen pass the rock to everybody equally and play within the system, within his feeling, how he knows how to play, and he'll do better. He'll have better stats, and the MVP voters will be like, oh my God, Allen's having the greatest fucking year ever because he's doing it without Diggs. And the dumbasses won't realize that he's doing it because there's no Diggs. And now CJ Stroud is going to have to he's going to have to navigate that fucking minefield, and I don't know if he can do it.
And I can agree to an extent. Now, my only pushback on that would be this. And because we've heard the same thing about Tua and Tyreek, but even in those circumstances, you would think, and Aaron Rodgers said it as well with Davante Adams and how Davante Adams would continuously come up to him and say, give me the fucking ball. How much of that is part of the player personality, but as well as the coaching staff saying, look, if you can't play within the system, then we're not even going to trade for you to begin with. And Stephon Diggs' case in Buffalo, if you're going to create this much of a disruption or an issue, then they should have got rid of him before now. But OG, Ennis, you unmuted yourself. What is going on, brother?
What's up, man? I just got to push back on some things first.
Yeah, go for it.
I get it. You might think Tank Dell and Nico Collins are nobodies, but people that watch college football and follow the draft, those guys were as nobodies. Now, I'm not saying that people knew that they was going to do what they did, but some of us are not surprised because Tank Dell and Nico Collins were unique talents coming into Houston. It was just, would they have a quarterback to play with? Nobody knew what CJ Stroud was going to be because most Ohio State quarterbacks haven't succeeded. But when you have a good head coach like D'Amico Ryans does, offensive coordinator like Pat Hamilton, who's worked with quarterbacks and had their best season when he was quarterback coach, like you could see that he was in good hands. So that was my pushback on the CJ Stroud, and he made them super. Them dudes was studs. It was just they didn't have no quarterback until CJ started playing with them.
Well, Tank Dell was a rookie, but real quick, just to retort to that, when I say nobodies, everybody in the NFL is somebody, or they wouldn't have made it to the NFL. But you haven't taken a snap in the NFL, so you're a fucking nobody until you prove that you're somebody, right? So that's what I mean by that.
Okay, that's fine. And I just the Josh Allen thing, I get that. what you say, that you're supposed to feel like that. But if you want to compare it to the Chiefs when Tyreek left, or however you want to see it, if you think the guys that are on your team now, the receiving core, can pull away coverage like this can, I don't see it. You can say things didn't have catches, but him being on the field, defense still have to account for him, regardless if he's making plays or not. Because we've seen what he's done to us when he's quiet and then all of a sudden just bursts out. So you still have to game plan that. Who's going to take coverage away? Because when Tyreek left, the Chiefs still had Kittle to draw coverage away.
Yep.
So who's pulling coverage? Because Mac Hollins is not a world beater. Kurt Samuel is not beating coverage on a every down basis. So you counting on Shakir and a rookie in the draft?
No. I mean, and that's a great point, right? But Brandon Bean, he had his conference today after the Diggs trade, obviously, and he made it very clear that we're not done, and he expects come September that this is a team that challenges for a Super Bowl. So he made that very clear. Now I don't know if he's going to go after a T. Higgins, which is a possibility.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to move up and try to grab one of the top 4, top 5 wide receivers before 28. Because the top 5 are really good. I know the top 3 are super elite, but the top 5, those other 2 like Adonai and Mitchell Jr. or whatever, they're really good too. Out of LSU, they're really good. You have Leggett out of South Carolina that's getting a lot of play right now, and a lot of people have him as the first. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me land. Leggett is getting a lot of credit as being a first-round grade right now. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want. That's a Gamecock. But I'm telling you, he's getting –
draft Leggett. Please draft Leggett. I'm a fucking Gamecock through and through. But as well as I do, he fucking cannot stay healthy. And he is somebody who is a la, especially for Dolphins fans, Leggett being a physical wide receiver, having speed. He is fucking injury prone, just like Devontae Parker. If you please draft
we're not going to move up to draft him. I'm just saying, like, Leggett might be there in the second round too. Like, we might go wide receiver first and second round, bro. So my point is, I'm trying to answer Enos and say that I get his point of what Diggs, you have to account for him. But we have this cat Kincaid that y'all are about to see a whole lot of, and he's going to be the one that gets all of the attention this year, opening up a lot of avenues for other people, including the rookie that we drafted in the first round.
But you're seeing him with Diggs on the field. You don't know if that's going to look the same with him not out there. That's my point.
He's going to command the attention. He's going to command the attention.
He's not going to command double teams.
Bullshit. What do you mean? Listen, man, this is a different cat. He will command whatever is necessary because the guy, all he does is get open, and you can't stop him. And you saw this in the rookie year. Watch what happens in year 2, year 3, year 4. This is the next Kelsey. Watch.
But see, and I agree with both of you in this aspect. So as far as Amicus, look, he was getting open and making plays. However, a lot of that was predicated on, especially against Miami. When you played 2 tight end sets with Dawson Knox, we were more worried about Dawson Knox than fucking Kincaid.
Why? Should be.
Because Knox fucking tore us up the last few years, especially last year and this year, where last year we lost Nick Needham and Brandon Jones, and Kader Cole, who came in and he played valiantly in his rookie year. Now, last year he sucked dick. But in his rookie year, he came in due to those injuries and played well, but he's a smaller guy, which Knox tore us up on in that year. Why? Because Kohu was a smaller guy. We did try to bracket Knox with the linebacker and Kohu. Why? Because they said, all right, let's put a bigger body in the area. Kohu's just too small. Now, the thing is Dawson Knox, even you admitted yourself, both privately and publicly, Dawson Knox is only valuable when he can play underneath because of the speed and the attention given to Diggs. Now, if you say, all right, you don't have Diggs anymore, and this is where I agree with Ennis, you don't have Diggs anymore, they're going to be more confounded to say, okay, I don't have to have a double or a bracket on Diggs, so that allows you, even if you put Kincaid out there, and again, the reason that Kincaid was so open is you had Diggs and Knox, and then you go, oh, hey, I got this rookie guy. You haven't seen him yet, but we're gonna scheme him in. Now, the Dolphins and Anthony Weaver are gonna go, okay, well, we don't have to double or bracket Diggs anymore. We can put a dedicated safety on Knox, and if you put a slot corner, which, by the way, again, we don't have an injured Nick Needham. Kohu's still there. Now, again, he did take a step back this year, being asked to play outside cornerback and all of that. But in reality, yes, he did struggle, and it frustrated me because obviously he didn't know his assignments because Jalen Ramsey and others were fucking screaming at him and telling him who to cover. And then when the ball is snapped, he doesn't cover the person he was told to cover. But again, is that the complexity of Fangio's defense and the shit that Fangio wanted to do? I don't know. We'll never know. But in reality, Ko had a great rookie season. He fell off a little last year. But again, having that battle, having Nick Needham back, these are things that, again, the slot is a lock. Our only issue is Cam Smith going to be a good outside corner? We brought in Kendall Fuller. We know he's going to be the starter unless Cam Smith balls the fuck out. But our outside corners are solid. It's no longer, we got an injured X, or when Jalen Ramsey was injured when we played Buffalo the first time, and we had to hodgepodge shit to try to cover Diggs, Kincaid, and Knox. That's not going to be the issue next year. And that's where I agree with Dennis is now you can fucking better spread out your talent and schematically do things that you couldn't do last year. Because you don't have the speed of Diggs, but at the same time,
Diggs ain't even fast, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Let me land, Amicus. So again, final thing. We don't have the injuries that we're dealing with last year, this year. And I think
let me land.
Go ahead.
Go. I'm land, Birdie, land.
It's not the speed of Diggs. It's his route running is so elite. Right. It gets him over.
I know that, Enos. I was just correcting CT because he said the speed of Diggs. I'm like, that's never been an issue.
Well, actually, it has because again, and we've talked about this bullshit. When you have fucking Eli Apple that is old and slow as fuck, and you're asking, compared to normal NFL quarterbacks, starting cornerbacks, no, Diggs isn't fast. But when he's playing against Eli Apple, Stephon Diggs, the speed is an issue. Yeah. And that's where you have to babysit with the safety over top because Eli's getting burned.
It's not the speed, it's the route running. And that's how you burn Ramsey, right? It's being 50.
I agree with that, but and making my point of the injuries being a schematic problem.
All right, but let me land because I'm flying, right? I'm hovering. I'm the vulture right now. Here's the thing, is y'all are assuming this is the fucking team, and you're forgetting about Curtis Samuel. Now, he's got speed. So if you don't double anybody as far as the wide receivers, and this is before we draft a top 5 wide receiver in the draft in the first round, this is before we trade for, or get T. Higgins to come over to Buffalo. This is before all of that. Just what we have right now. You don't have to double Diggs. Who cares? You got to account for Samuel. Right?
And that's fine.
You got to account for Kincaid. Shakir's had a breakout year. James Cook is getting better and can flex out. I mean, bro, there's problems all over the field, and we're not even done. The draft isn't done.
You got a bunch
nobody's worried about Curtis Samuel.
You got a bunch of nobodies because Curtis was a fucking nobody, and on top of that, you forget
he's never had a quarterback like Allen. Watch.
Hold on, but again, just like fucking the argument about you don't know what's coming, this, that, and the other. You forget that we do know what's coming. You know why we know what's coming? Oh wait, Jordan Poyer is going to be fucking lined up the next to Javon Holland, and the fact that Poyer knows your receivers. He knows what they're good at. He knows what you guys are trying to do. He knows what's going to fucking come his way.
Oh my
and guess
God.
what? He's willing to fucking give you a fucking eggplant in the asshole because he's pissed off that y'all let him fucking go to the point where he was willing to sign with the Dolphins, not only because they have Super Bowl aspirations and talent, but because they said, you know what? Fuck you. You don't want to re-sign me. I'll come here and I'll whoop your ass twice a year.
You obviously love signing injury-prone granddads that need a walker to play football. So good luck. Have fun.
Oh, he only missed 4 games the last 2 years for y'all.
Yeah, wait till this
y'all
year.
Love saying that.
He'll miss half the year. He'll miss half the year. Watch.
But again, selective fucking reasoning by the Bills fans. Ennis, go ahead, brother.
I would say, like, if you would, Brandon Beane doesn't have a track record for drafting wide receivers.
He's never drafted one in the first year.
Right.
No.
You have 5 holes on defense. You can say they're not holes, but you lost
they're
5 guys
they're not.
That have
played.
So, Micah Hyde, Trey White, Poyer, and Leonard Floyd are not all pros.
No, Leonard Floyd is a hole. I'll give you that one. He's the only one.
Okay, so the 2 safeties has been the back end of your defense for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they were great the last 4 or 5 years, but they're older now, Ennis, and it just is what it is. We upgraded. Taylor Rapp is a monster. That is an upgrade.
You don't think the communication takes a dip?
Well, it didn't last year when Taylor Rapp played. He played a lot of snaps, bro. It just this is the problem with fans, and I'm guilty of it too. But we come from a perspective of like these black and white nuances and everything, and we don't understand. These guys are in the fucking room, man. They're watching the tape. Like this chemistry, this overuse of the word chemistry. These guys play snaps in real game situations, and this is why we moved off of Poyer, because Taylor Rapp shows that he's a badass. Well, where's the chemistry issue? There isn't one.
I'm about to tell you, but you cut me up. How is it not an issue when the 4 games he missed, y'all lost?
Well, we didn't lose because of fucking Taylor Rapp.
How did the defense perform in those games?
He's not going to talk about that, and what he's going to do, and I love Amicus. He's going to fucking blame Josh Allen for being a one-read quarterback and throwing multiple interceptions, and that's why they lost those games.
Yeah, no, you're right, CT. I am going to blame that. I'm going to blame that he had to force the ball to a diva wide receiver, and that's why we ended up 6-6. Then we cut his ass out of the equation, play real football, and we take over the AFC East. Yeah, that's what happened. That's facts. That's reality, fellas.
Well, the facts is you got rid of fucking Ken Dorsey's dumbass.
Yeah,
and you actually started running a real offense. But Ennis, go ahead, brother. Yeah. Tear his ass up because I'm tired of this ignorant shit. I love fucking Amicus, but man, to act like you guys don't have holes and that chemistry doesn't matter is fucking ridiculous.
Whoa. When did I say chemistry doesn't matter? My point is the chemistry is already there. That's why we fucking moved off the motherfucker. And Taylor Rapp is taking over because there's chemistry.
He played 16 games last year. He played 12 the year before.
You guys practice every day.
Hold on. Can I finish? He played 16 games last year, 12 the year before, 16, 16, 16, 16, and 15. So y'all keep saying he's missed all these games, but That doesn't look like he missed a lot of games to me.
No, I'm saying he's going to miss games for you next year because he's on the cane now, bro. He's on the cane.
Oh, okay. He just played 16, and he's gonna miss now.
He
Okay.
took a step back, man. He did. We gave him a 2-year contract and cut him after year one. What do you think we did that for?
Oh,
We
you
didn't
did
do that
for
just to do
fucking
it. He
money.
did it.
Stop that. Stop.
Come on. He did it
Stop
because we're
that.
upgrading. We're upgrading.
Nah, you did it because of money. But I agree. I agree with Ennis. The whole point is you said that Taylor Rapp is going to step in and that the chemistry is already there, but the all out issue is obviously it's not. And the reason I say that is prime example with the Miami Dolphins. You can say that somebody steps in. They can step in and play well enough if they play within the system. Does that mean that they're an all-star or they're some fucking badass like you say? No, because again, prime example, Cater Co's rookie year, the motherfucker stepped in and played like a badass.
Hey,
But
why
guess
did
what?
Tua and Tyreek have such a good year their first year together? Where was the fucking chemistry? They never played together. Where's the fucking chemistry? You see what I'm talking about? Like, it's an overuse
Because you
narrative
fuckers
of
were
a
saying
fan.
that.
Like, stop it.
No, because you were saying that Tua was underthrowing Tyreek and yada yada. Oh, no chemistry. Tua doesn't got an arm. This and that.
Noodle arm. That's nothing to do with chemistry.
Yeah,
They
but the
had
funny
chemistry. They
thing
practiced all year.
So why did I on the show when I brought up multiple times of Patrick Mahomes underthrowing Tyreek that you go, oh, but this and all but that? No, they had 5-6 years together, and Patrick Mahomes underthrew him quite often. As a matter of fact, from that show, and I'm not saying it was every fucking pass, but we did about 80 of the 120 he had. We watched 80 of them. 80. Now, obviously, there was a select few there that were incomplete, but even the deep passes, 12 of the 53 passes, granted, again, 12 out of 53. That's not differentiating between, post routes or dig routes or little fucking dink and dunk bullshit. But he fucking underthrew Tyreek 12 out of 53 passes.
Well, hold on, CT. It's
Hold
58 minutes in, and my time as an antagonist has ended, so I need to switch gears really quick. Yeah, I think we're going to have a rough year, man. Losing Diggs is a big deal.
So I get what he said, Tyreek, and Tua, but you couldn't have watched every game that first year, Tyreek, because there was times that they was off as far as communication. Of course, yes, it got better the second year, but it wasn't peak apples and peak, whatever you want to say, the first year.
How many yards did Tyreek have in that first year? How many?
How many yards?
He only had like 14 or 16.
Yeah, only 1,600 yards. Okay, yeah.
But again,
definitely
that's gonna have a fucking arm to throw it to him, Amicus. So
that was because a lot of big plays.
Yeah, there's a chemistry issue there, man. 1,600 fucking yards. Damn.
Yeah, exactly. But again, you guys were still saying that Tua's underthrowing him. Oh, it's a noodle arm this and noodle arm that. But then when you turn around last year, as a matter of fact, we disputed it. And one of these days, I want to do a recap of that show with Ennis. There were literally 20 to 30 passes over the entire year for Tua that he underthrew his wide receiver.
How do we get on Tua?
You brought up the chemistry between it, like trying to compare that to
that's why
this is my fault. Damn. Okay.
The chemistry.
I apologize to the viewers. Yeah.
That's what was really trying to compare that to quarterback and wide receiver.
Especially
chemistry.
You talking about back end communication. That's where I was at. I say chemistry. I said the back end communication. If you're trying to downplay Poyer and Michael Hyde's communication veteranship, then that's fine. You can
not
do that.
Downplaying it, just saying Taylor Rapp came in, did really good.
He didn't have to relay the communications. You had Poyer, Mike, and Hyde there. Yeah, for about
Exactly.
16 games.
And that's where I was trying to make the point in is with the Kohu thing, right? Because in
Fucking guys
Kohu's
aren't coming off the
rookie year,
street, man.
you still had Xavier Howard, and you had Kohu playing the other outside, but Nick Needham was able to step in the slot because he was a starter before that. And so even though you're asking a lot of Kader Kohu in that instance, you still have starters in Brandon Jones, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, Nick Needham. So again, Kohu was only asked to play his role, while the rest of the continuity, communication wise and chemistry, because you can fucking argue all you want. Chemistry, especially when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers, is about anticipation of speed. I know this guy's going to make this cut. Am I going to make the throw precisely and accurately? Tua proves he does that. The issue
he
is
throws to his spot. We all know that. It is what it is.
You can call it what you fucking want. Anticipation, throwing to a spot.
I didn't call it that. Sherfield did. He played for the Dolphins, remember?
Kurt Warner also said that Tua's anticipation is elite. So you won't want to fucking hear that or listen to that. So don't go watch that podcast. But anyway,
I'll take your word for it.
If you throw it to a spot, that means you got to anticipate the guy getting to that spot, don't it?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, how many balls just landed on the ground because the guy wasn't at the spot? So good anticipation.
And I watched fucking plenty of Josh Allen throws land on the fucking ground in the wrong place. So again, we've been over this.
Miscommunication. Yes, again, I've seen it too.
Exactly. And you just said it. Oh, miscommunication. Well, Dennis has been talking about miscommunication. So, come on, bro. And it's I can't.
Those miscommunication plays, there's certain plays where a receiver has an option. They're option routes, right? That happens all the time, CT. You know that. It's a fucking coin flip.
It happened to Tua multiple times.
Right. It's called an option route. What the fuck are you talking about?
But again, when a miscommunication happens, it's a lack of communication and a chemistry issue. And on top of that, when Tua does it, Tua's a one-read quarterback. Oh, he sucks. He can't fucking read the field, yada, 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 and all the negative bullshit. But when Josh Allen, literally, you remember the show because you were on it, and I gave you shit for it. I played not side by side, but back to back, the miscommunication of Tua in one of the games last year, and I don't remember, it should have been a touchdown at the end of the game for another win, but he had a miscommunication where the wide receiver was on a fucking go route, but if the defensive back is playing inside leverage, he needs to go out and on the out route and get the first down. It would have been like 18 seconds left, whatever. Now, if the cornerback is playing outside leverage, the wide receiver is supposed to run the go to the corner of the end zone. We broke that whole play down.
Is this how you treat your guests?
Yes, I do. Well, yes, because we're family and I fucking give you shit. But again, the corner was playing inside leverage. The fucking receiver should have ran the out. Instead, he ran the go. And when Tua threw it to the sideline in anticipation of the fucking out route, the dude ran the go route. So we compared the same play because it happened, and I don't remember which receiver it was for y'all. It wasn't Diggs. It was another one. I think it was Gabe Davis.
There was one with Diggs too, and Gabe Davis, that happened all the time.
Yeah, but I think it was the Gabe Davis one that we did the play breakdown. So it was kind of a similar situation, except Gabe was in the slot, and if the slot corner played inside leverage, he was supposed to run a post.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we had that whole fucking show. Same miscommunication because Josh Allen says the slot corner is inside leverage. I'm throwing the post, but Gabe Davis, if the slot corner is playing outside leverage, he's supposed to run the streak right into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons Gabe Davis didn't get a contract.
Same miscommunication. We had a whole fucking show on it, but everybody wanted to trash Tua. Oh, he's a shit quarterback. Blah 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 blah. Oh, but Josh Allen did the same exact shit, same exact situation, same exact scenario.
Hold on, time out. I have never given Tua hell for a miscommunication due to an option route. It happens to the greatest.
Okay, but
my qualms with Tua go far beyond a coin flip of a fucking option route.
Yeah, and it's I can't get him because I can't. I'm not gonna have fucking do this discussion.
Well, why does anybody have to get anybody? I mean, what is this?
I know because he is a stat master. He's much more into it than I am. You know me. I'm a fucking staunch fucking Dolphins fan, but I don't do all the numbers and breakdowns and all that shit. That's just not my realm. I stick in my lane, and Amicus, the medical side is my lane. Yeah, and I stay in it.
Okay, so then Ennis is well aware that Gabe Davis dropped more balls than any wide receiver last year, but also had the least amount of targets. Now, that's a problem, isn't it? That's why he's gone.
That was actually the year before, I thought.
Well, every year, every fucking year with him. That's why he's gone.
He said it's every year.
Yeah,
and it's he'll be back. But yeah, no, I get it. You've always bitched about Gabe Davis. I mean, the propensity for Josh Allen, just like Tua, which infuriates me about both of them, because like you said earlier, we can have logical discussions. We do have fandom, but sometimes it's on these shows, you got to play the antithesis, but then you get down to the real talk. What really frustrates me with both Tua and Josh Allen, it's almost like you have your niche, but then you try to step outside it. And it gets kind of frustrating, right? Like, there are miscommunications. Obviously, Josh Allen has a stronger arm. He could fit the ball in. Maybe he's a little late on the read, but he can still fit it in. That's great.
I don't know where you get the tip from. Late on the read. Ugh.
It's happened multiple times. I've fucking shown film on the show. Don't fucking go back and rewatch it then. But anyway, does it happen every fucking play? No. But
Josh Allen, he's so talented. He thinks he can make every throw in every situation, and he can. That is a flaw in itself. Yes.
Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at is there are times where, and we broke down a lot of those interceptions where I'm late on the read, but I still think I can fit it in there. And it's same.
It's not that he's late on the read. A lot of it is while he's on the fucking run and trying to play Superman. Where's the late read? What are you talking about? Late read, he's fucking running for his life. There's no fucking read.
I'm going to go find the episode.
That Jet game, there was times he wasn't on the run. And those interceptions, he forced in there. So let's not act like it's every time he's on the run. Stop.
Well, no, but those forced balls are usually the Diggs, and that's my point that I made earlier. That this is a good thing Diggs is gone. Watch, you're gonna see an MVP year, bro, and the narrative will be there that Josh Allen put up godlike stats without having Diggs, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, this is amazing! It's the greatest fucking year ever!" And you didn't even have a number one wide receiver because it's actually a blessing in disguise. You'll see. You'll see.
And I can't wait for him to fucking shit the bed. And I'm going to call out Amicus because, again, we have said, and I've shown, and you were on that show that we brought up some of Tua and fucking Josh Allen's interceptions. It's not all of his interceptions to Diggs. He's tried to fit it into Dawson Knox multiple times, where Dawson Knox was in bracket coverage. He doesn't see the underneath backer who's playing the cloud. And he goes, oh, I'm late on finding the out at the break of the out. And he goes, oh, well, I could just pinpoint it. I could throw it over the top of the linebacker. And it doesn't work.
So let me you might want to stop there, CT, because an analysis has been done last year on Josh Allen and all of his interceptions, and you would be shocked at the amount of interceptions that are considered to be his fault. Like, just stop. Trust me. Or I will go pull it up and send you the link, and we can do a whole show on how you're wrong right now. Like, there's just this narrative because you don't know what you're fucking talking about. But it's not. These things aren't happening mostly because of Allen. There's a lot of variables to this that are just too many to go into depth right now. But the analysis has already been done, bro. It's been done. You want the link after the show? I'll give it to you.
That's the question.
No, by an unbiased, like the quarterback room guy or one of those fucking cats. Like, it's already been done. I'm just telling you, man.
I love to do it, and I love to do some of the QB school with Kurt Warner about Tua and some of the interceptions and the things that were going on. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you got guys like Chris Sims and all this shit talking shit when they're nobodies, and the fact that, yeah, you're famous because of your dad, but you sucked as a quarterback. But in reality, you got Kurt Warner coming breaking down to a film and saying, I fucking love this guy. But
I'll tell you the things you can blame Allen on. When he fumbles the ball, that is 100% his fault, not protecting the ball, like, all day long. And he has more fumbles than like any other quarterback, I think. Like, that's a problem. But the interceptions, when you just look at the interceptions, the number, it's fool's gold. It's not the reality of the situation. And like I said, this has been analyzed from top to bottom. Allen's a lethal, accurate quarterback. It just is what it is. And there's many variables to what's been going on.
What do you think about that, brother?
So why was his stats so terrible before Diggs got there?
It was a fucking rookie throwing to Kelvin Benjamin. The guy's bagging groceries at Food Lion. What are you talking about? Stop it.
Okay.
Like, Tua was throwing passes to fucking grocery baggers, and it's funny that you said that because Tua's rookie year, the starting slot receiver, even before Fitzpatrick obviously started and Tua came in, Fitzmagic was playing with a guy that was literally bagging groceries at a Publix in fucking Miami, Florida when he got signed. But yet, Tua did it with nobodies. You argued that CJ Stroud did it with nobodies. But Tua's first 2 years was a bunch of fucking wide receivers that were fucking cast-offs.
All right,
I forgot. We had Devontae Parker, and when he was healthy, he was throwing back shoulder throws outside the numbers and checking down the ball, right? And then everybody said it's check down Tua and back shoulder Tua. Then the narrative turned to, oh, he can't throw over the middle and he can't throw deep. And then Tua starts throwing deep and over the middle. And now fucking idiots want to circle back and go, oh, he can't throw outside the numbers and he can't check down. Bro, which one is it? Which one is it? Please answer me.
I don't know how we're going to again. Is this my fault again? Did I do it again?
No, I'm saying it's the narratives of Bills fans and NFL fans in general Tua, in his first 2 years with Devontae Parker, with the physical wide receiver on the outside, he threw back shoulder fades. He threw outside the numbers. He threw slants and everything over the middle. He did all these things. Now, again, was his deep ball percentage high? No, but he was a rookie and he didn't really have deep threats on that team. We didn't have anybody on that team speed-wise to threaten down the field. So everybody goes, oh, well, Tua is an outside the numbers and check down quarterback. They said that he couldn't throw over the middle and he couldn't throw deep. Well, Mike McDaniel comes in, and for 2 years, he's throwing over the middle and he's throwing deep. And now the narrative has circled around by Tua haters. Oh, he can't throw outside the numbers and he can't check the ball down.
Well, let's put it to rest. Tua is a very elite quarterback, in my opinion, the best in the league. So we can move on now.
There you go.
There you go.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
And Allen was there 2 years before Diggs got there, not one.
Yep. First and second year. Yep, throwing to nobodies. Listen, man, one of the reasons I think he got moved today is because of, you bring up a good point, the narrative that, so did y'all see the tweet this morning by the Peaky Pirate guy, whatever, from the RG3? Like, this is how this whole shit unfolded, right? RG3 was talking about Diggs and Allen or some shit, and some cat named Peaky Pirate on Twitter or whatever came and said, hey, John, has Stephon Diggs benefited Josh Allen? And the answer is yes. And then he said, is Stephon Diggs essential to Josh Allen's success? And Peaky Pirate said no. And then Stephon Diggs took it upon himself, the great team first professional that he is, to respond to a nobody on Twitter and say, are you sure? Who the fuck does that? First off. And so, I mean, this cat really believes that all of Allen's success is predicated to him. Yet the first half of the season, Diggs was putting up Pro Bowl numbers, and they're 6-6. Then all of a sudden, we move off of him for the latter of the year, and we win the AFC East. So this is a blessing, man. Y'all can paint any narrative you want. It's a good thing, and that's why Bean did it. Bean took a fucking $31 million cap hit to go ahead and get this motherfucker out of Buffalo, because he knows what's going to happen by doing so. And you're going to see next year as well.
And it's go ahead, and then I'm going to destroy this narrative with his own personal comments.
I just don't understand why y'all don't agree with the psychology of that a number one wide receiver can actually be a detriment to a fucking team, especially a beta like Allen. If Allen was a Brett Favre, it wouldn't matter. If he was an Aaron Rodgers, it wouldn't matter. But Allen's not an alpha male. He's a little bitch, if you want to be honest. Allen's a little bitch, and he gets his feelings hurt, so he's going to give the ball to Diggs because I don't want the number one wide receiver to be upset with me. You fucking bitch, pussy ass motherfucker. Yeah, that's his flaw. But it doesn't mean that it won't be better for the team that he's gone.
Just 1 second. Spidey.
Damn.
My bad,
no,
Spidey.
You're good, bro.
I don't know how long you've been back there.
No, I just got here.
All going on the tirade. I did not see you backstage. I don't know how long you were backstage.
No, I wasn't even on for that long, bro. You're good.
Okay. I just wanted to apologize. Amicus, go ahead and finish your fucking tirade, and then we're gonna
I finished. I mean, it's a flaw of Allen being a little bitch, but it is what it is. He's a beta, so he's not going to be able to tell Diggs to shut the fuck up. He's going to say, you know what? He's the number one wide receiver. He's mad. I got to give him the ball. I got to force him the ball. I'm going to get interceptions because of it, but at least I don't have to worry about him fucking throwing his hands up in the middle of a fucking playoff game. And that's the mentality of a weak mentality like Josh Allen. It is what it is. But it doesn't mean, hold on, it doesn't mean that it's not a benefit to get that motherfucker out of there. He's better off playing backyard football and throwing to whoever the fuck he wants. Diggs was a detriment to the team. He just is.
To the other team? You mean to the other team? Throwing to the other team. But anyways, no, but in
Oh
all
shit!
seriousness,
Let's go,
to the
Spidey.
other team,
Coming in hot.
he usually has a tendency to throw to the other team. But anyways, I in all seriousness, um, hey, listen, I mean, Stephon Diggs, it's been a while. He's been upset. He's been complaining that he hasn't been targeted, especially as the season goes on. Um, I don't know. I mean, there was been reports that Josh Allen and him didn't weren't connecting, and so there's some other people saying that wasn't true. Uh, those were just rumors to try to create a problem in the locker room, yada yada yada. But I mean, I just think this was an eventual divorce that was bound to happen eventually. Um, Stephon Diggs wanted to get out of there since last year, so um,
Yeah.
I think this is a good problem for Buffalo to have because they got rid of a guy that wanted targets, that wanted a bigger role in the offense, and it seems like as the season went on, he just wasn't the primary focus on the offense anymore.
Yeah, and
Buffalo
we
wanted to
won.
be
And we won the
balanced,
AFC East, Spidey, because of it.
right? But Buffalo wanted to be balanced. They wanted to run the ball and be physical and get Josh Allen to run the ball more as well. And be
See Spidey fucking. God damn it, Spidey! I should never let you on the fucking show. But go ahead and talk about that, and then I'll hit my point. Go ahead.
oh about what well anyways
On the
um you
show
know
with us when we fucking confronted Amicus, and Amicus admitted to the world that when what's his name? Ken Dorsey was the OC. They weren't running Josh Allen. They wanted him to stay in the pocket and do this and do that.
right
And Amicus himself said, when we got rid of Ken Dorsey, we brought in Joe Brady. We allowed Allen to be Allen and run more. And it gave another dynamic to the offense that made
right.
defenses afraid. But I just think it's fucking hilarious that Amicus goes, it's Josh Allen's passing prowess. We stopped targeting Diggs. That's why we got better. No, you got better because Ken Dorsey didn't want to run your little boy toy.
It's all of it, CT. We spread the ball around. Bro, I have been right on every fucking thing I've said the past year. I said that Dorsey needed to go, and he was the problem. Mikey and all y'all said, no, it's not Dorsey. Yeah. But I was right. I said that we're going to move off of Diggs this year, and everybody said, no, it's a $31 million cap hit. You can't. And I was right. I'm fucking hitting them left and right. Put up the pins. I'm the bowling ball, motherfucker.
No, I agree with you in that aspect,
CT,
but
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say that I think. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got interrupted with a phone call.
You were gonna say how Amicus is right, and he's been right on everything that he said.
I will say that even after losing Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs, the Bills kind of rebound nicely by adding Mac Hollins. He was a dependable receiver for the Dolphins when he was here. He's a big body target. He can line up as a tight end as well. Hold on,
let him land, CT.
Real quick. He did get Curtis Samuel.
Hold on, so CT. No, he shit the bed with the Raiders. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say they added Curtis Samuel, who is a nice deep threat. You could use him as a gadget player. He gives you an option in the screen game. He's a vertical threat. So, and you pair him up with the tight end from Utah. What's his name? Kincaid. Thank you, Dalton Kincaid, and Knox with Dalton Knox. I mean, they still have a formidable offense. I mean,
and we're not done, Spidey. We're going to get a number one wide receiver in the draft, and we might get T. Higgins.
This draft is littered with wide receivers. Don't even. I mean, T Higgins it is a nice option to have, but bro, like you literally have. I mean, the Buffalo could literally trade up and draft Malik Neighbors. They could draft Roma Dunze. Bro, even Brian Thomas is a very talented wide receiver. Even in the second round, you can get Lab McConkey.
Yep.
You can get
No.
Leggett.
He said he wants to draft Leggett.
Not in the first round, CP. Don't be saying lies.
Second round. That's what I meant.
Said second round, Leggett. Second round.
Yeah. So, like I said, like
you
CP,
said
like
no.
listen.
Originally, don't lie, motherfucker. You said that you could get Leggett in the first round.
No. I said that Leggett has been moving up on people's boards as a first round wide receiver. I didn't say we were going to take him in the first round. We're moving up to get one of those top 5 wide receivers, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pick Leggett because he is fucking Devontae Parker 2.0, and I am a fucking gamecock. But
no,
he
is
bullshit.
Not. He is not. What are you talking about, CT?
Oh my God! Go back and look.
Devontae Parker No.
He is injury prone. I am a fucking South Carolina alumni.
I get
Leggett
that. He is not Devontae Parker, bro.
Every fucking year.
Hold on. So how are you getting up to getting Neighbors and getting T Higgins? Because the Bengals want a second round pick for him. So what second round pick are you giving to get up from 28 to get Neighbors? You're not going to have that pick to give.
But nobody said that we're getting Neighbors and T Higgins. We're just talking about options.
Exactly.
You're going to get a top 5.
They just have their options.
You said
it's not top 5 in the draft, a top 5 wide receiver.
Amicus, but you guys did get a second round pick, right?
Top 5 wide receiver.
See,
hold on, because there's confusion here. I'm talking about a top 5 wide receiver, one of the top.
Let's go.
You think you're going to trade from a team and they're going to give up a top 5 wide receiver in the league?
No, I'm saying the options we have is possibly bringing in a T Higgins, or we can get one of the top 5 wide receivers in the draft. The top 5 are going to be
at 28. You think that one of the top 5 guys is going to be there at 28?
Yeah, Brian Thomas could definitely fall to 28, but I think we can move up like to 21 or 20 and solidify it as well.
You guys do have a second.
I told you the other night, Amicus,
we have 2 second round picks in next year's draft.
Yeah, you could trade.
We're at 21. We're not trading back. So that's out.
Okay, now see, I disagree in this. I'm not saying we're not trading back. We might, but we're sure as fuck not giving the Bills our pick unless we get a steal. There is no way that we are giving you number 21 unless Chris Greer, and you said it the other night, Beal doesn't get fleeced. Beal doesn't get fleeced. Well, if Beal doesn't get fleeced, then Greer ain't fucking trading with you. That's all there is to it.
It's not Beal, CT. It's Brandon Bean. Bean, like a kidney bean, like eating a bowl of beans. Bean.
Dick fucking or Richard. I don't fucking care, bro.
But regardless of the whatever wide receiver options the Bills do end up taking, I think is going to allow Josh Allen to play more.
Thank you, Spidey.
Play more freely.
I agree.
Yeah. He's going to be distributing the football than just looking for Stephon Diggs.
Right. So, Spidey, really quick, because you just came on. Let me give you the quick version of what I was telling these 2 Dolphin fans earlier. That I do believe that the MVP is narrative driven, and because we targeted Diggs early in the year and was 6-6, but then laid off of him and ended up winning the AFC East. That's why Bean did this. He saw that we were more successful without forcing the ball to Diggs, and knowing what we can do in the draft, a possible T Higgins, etc. Kincaid's second year, all that. Shakir having a breakout year. James Cook.
Shit, that's right. You guys got Magic. Damn.
Right. So hold on, CT, hold on.
Josh Allen to be mobile and do what he does.
So,
But
in
CT,
saying all that, Spidey, I think that
damn, that's right.
it's a better fit for us. And the narrative for MVPs, watch, bro. If Josh Allen puts up numbers like he's been doing the past 4 years, he will win the MVP because of the narrative is he did it without Diggs.
Yeah, but the issue
Yeah.
is if he does more running and he does the things that you agreed, and we had a whole fucking show on it, the dispatch of Ken Dorsey, it made a multiple offense that started saying, okay, Ken Dorsey obviously didn't call plays or situations where Josh Allen can see. He wanted him to stay in the pocket and be a pocket passer because of his arm strength. But it took away a dynamic of that offense. And just like you said, when Joe Brady came in, the running option came back into play. And it changes how NFL defenses scheme for the Bills.
Sure.
And it takes into account, though, if Stephon Diggs is requiring double teams, and this is where I wanted to make the point of Spidey, and I agree with you. We talked about Dawson Knox and Kincaid, and a lot of that was we had Eli Apple on the boundary. We knew we had to give him safety help. So you either double team or bracket Stephon Diggs, which allowed Dawson Knox and Kincaid to be either locked up by Kader Kohu, which we talked about, is a smaller guy. He's not going to handle a bigger fucking tight end that can run out and catch. However, even with Kader taking a step back, we have Poyer now. And Poyer knows the strength and weaknesses of these guys. So with the elimination of Stephon Diggs and the fact that we're not depending on Eli Apple anymore. We have Kendall Fuller. We have Jalen Ramsey. We have Nick Needham fully healthy. We have Javon Holland healthy.
Thank you, Chris Greer.
We're coming in.
Thank you, Chris Greer.
Injured hodgepodge of bullshit in the defensive secondary that we've had for the last 2 years is not going to be an issue starting this year. So the schematics and the scheme changes. You don't have to double or bracket Diggs. Okay, say they bring in a new stud guy. Okay, if he's not a speed guy, he's unproven. Are they willing to let Jalen Ramsey and or Fuller to go one-on-one with this guy?
The top 5 wide receivers are all 6'3" and up and speed guys. I mean, this is a badass wide receiver class, bro. I mean, we're fine. You're gonna see, we're fine.
I want you guys to draft Leggett. And look, I'm a fucking Gamecock through and through, but Leggett has been injured every fucking year he's played for South Carolina. I'm not comparing him to Devontae Parker and work ethic or this and that.
You better hope we don't. You better hope we don't draft Leggett, because if we do, it'll be in the second round, which means we'll have Leggett and one of the top 5 wide receivers. So, I mean, yeah, good luck.
Well, unless you're moving up from 28, like Ennis said, because you sure as fucking getting the top 5 at 28.
We got a second round pick for Diggs, bro. We got a second round pick. You're like, we're good. We got 2 seconds next year. We're good.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah,
You
and
give up
people
that
forget
this
that the cap hit is like after this year, we saved so much money. Like even one of those top 5 wide receivers is only going to cost about $20 million for the next 4 years. That's 1 year of Diggs, man. And he's younger, and they're going to be better. Diggs is on the way down, bro. This is a win for Buffalo. It's just these casual fucking fans don't see it because all they hear is Diggs. Diggs is gone. Diggs is gone. They don't know a fucking thing about the business or football or anything else. Watch what happens. I'm telling you, the Bills might win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, well, they said that a few years ago, and then you fucked it up. But I'm gonna leave you guys with this. We've been on an hour and a half. Final thoughts, Amicus. Love you, brother. Thank you for coming on, being the special guest. Great show. Give me your final thoughts, man.
My final thoughts is that the Bills are going to win the division again, but this time we won't have to like hope for something at the end of the year. It's just going to be a landslide from day one, and this is going to be one of, if not the most potent offense in the league without Diggs.
Oof. All right. So I'm going to dispute that, but before I do, the 125 watching, all of y'all aren't on YouTube, but please come on our YouTube, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, waddle on the notification bell. We're here every Monday at 8:30. We do impromptu shows throughout the week, a la this one. We appreciate everybody coming on. Ennis, Spidey, Colin was supposed to be here. He's working, but couldn't make it out. Doesn't matter. 125 of you guys watching. If you don't subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to be here now. Amicus. It's delusional to think that Josh Allen is going to do something he did with a guy that had so much attention given to him. You make the argument, yes, he's gone. He can spread the ball. Yeah, I can agree with that. But if the talent that he's spreading the ball to is not able to overcome the talent on a defense, doesn't matter what Josh Allen can or can't do.
Bro, Diggs wasn't quadruple teamed, okay? He was sometimes doubled, sometimes. So that's just one fucking guy. Like you said, there's a whole fucking team out there playing, CT. Trust me, there's going to be too many weapons moving in all types of directions. Bro, James Cook and Samuels alone is a problem. That's a lot of speed. Bro, Curtis Samuel is like a Debo type player, man. I mean, he can play fucking running back. Yeah, James Cook is our running back. He can flex out and play wide receiver. Like, there's so many options. Kincaid is a problem. You got, if you think adding one extra guy that's not Bracken and Diggs is going to make and break this fucking team, and we haven't even finished the draft yet, and there's a possibility of still acquiring a top tier wide receiver, you're crazy, man. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. And I hope Dolphin Land is listening to what I'm saying right now. Fucking take the receipts down, put it in the fucking vault, and in December or January of 25, you come back and have a conversation with me, and it'll be the same narrative. It'll be the same narrative. You'll see. Watch.
We will absolutely revisit it when Josh Allen is throwing interceptions all over the place because he's a one-read quarterback. And when his arm tries to bail him out of being late in reads, he's susceptible to throwing interceptions. We will revisit it.
Now, if I'm wrong, CT, I'll see y'all in 26.
For sure. That's the only time that the Bills are going to be relevant is 2 years from now. But anyway, when they get the cap space from Diggs being gone. But we're going to leave you guys with our favorite clip. As always, again, every Monday, 8:30. impromptu shows. Hit that notification bell every time we come on. The 125 watching, we truly appreciate it. I'd love you to come over to YouTube and show support. But yeah, we're going to leave you with our best. Peace.
Jalen Waddell. Everybody knew. They would yell from the box like Jalen Waddle, and we would say Waddell. Waddle.